reform is one of the political issues that Kim Kardashian has decided to involve herself in. And even though her past might have some components that you may disagree with, this is an incredibly important issue. And she actually traveled to the White House to speak to Donald Trump about the issue of prison reform and to specifically ask for a pardon for a woman who has been serving decades in prison for a nonviolent drug offense. Now, Miss Alice Marie Johnson has a sentence of life behind bars without the possibility of parole. She has absolutely no other crimes in her record, has never been arrested for anything else, never got in trouble prior to this one conviction. But unfortunately, since it was a drug conviction and because she might be disadvantaged compared to other people who can hire expensive attorneys, she got this insane sentence. So Kim Kardashian wanted to do what she could to give her an opportunity at a second shot at life. So here is a photo that Donald Trump had tweeted of their meeting, which is fine. A great meeting with Kim Kardashian today, talked about prison reform and sentencing. Now, this was yesterday. Keep in mind that today, Donald Trump pardoned Dinesh D'Souza, who pleaded guilty to his crimes of unlawful campaign donations, and he's planning on pardoning others who have been convicted of crimes. But he hasn't said
who are all, by the way, rich and powerful.
Yes, exactly.
Martha Stewart, Rod Blagojevich, the fact that he did it right after the Kardashian meeting, he's like, oh, you're telling me about this African-American great-grandmother who got put away for life, and that seems like an incredible injustice. Yeah, whatever. Dinesh D'Souza is the darling of conservative media and does their racist bidding. So whatever, okay? But I enjoyed meeting you. It was a nice reality show situation. I like reality shows. Okay, but now I'm gonna go pardon my powerful Republican friend.
I know, it's devastating. And I personally had the opportunity to speak to Alice Marie Johnson. We're going to show you some of the interview that I did last year. But before we get to that, I want to give you some more details about what she was convicted of and just how remorseful she is. Johnson was sentenced back in 1996 for helping a multi-million-dollar cocaine ring, something she said she became involved with after she lost her job and was unable to support her family. So she had recently been divorced, she lost her job, and she also lost her son. She was desperate, didn't know what to do, so she took part in this drug conspiracy. And again, this was the first crime that she had committed. Here's a quote from her. She said, "I made the biggest mistake of my life to make ends meet and got involved with people selling drugs. This was a road I never dreamed of venturing down. I became what is called a telephone mule, passing messages between the distributors and sellers. I participated in a drug conspiracy and I was wrong." And she has been incredibly remorseful. She has been a perfect citizen in prison. You know, everyone who has met with her, worked with her there, says that she has nothing but good behavior. And again, the fact that she has a life sentence without any possibility of parole is outrageous, considering that this was a non-violent drug crime and her first offense. Now,
so look, a couple of things. First off, she did the crime, okay, and it is a serious crime, the cocaine ring, et cetera. So nobody's denying that. She's already served 22 years in prison. Non-violent and first offense. Now, how many powerful people do you see that get off? I mean, look, even Dinesh D'Souza, even before the pardon, he committed a very serious campaign finance violation. Corruption, it's the heart of our system, corruption, right? He had an 8-month sentence where he got to leave during the day.
No, let's find something that is a violent crime, but someone got off with a measly sentence. The Stanford University student who was caught raping a woman in the back of a dumpster. Okay, what was his sentence? I believe it was 6 months, and then it was even shortened after that.
And then remember the kid who had affluenza in Ohio?
Yeah, he killed people.
All those people dead, and they were like, yeah, but the judge is like, yeah, but he was rich, so he didn't know that his actions had consequences, so I'm gonna let him off with a light sentence. She's serving he gets a light sentence, she gets a life sentence. And Trump takes a nice picture. You know, I kid around on the internet, on Twitter, I thought this was when the world was supposed to end, right? But I want to be clear. on this note, God bless Kim Kardashian. It's great that she's fighting for a case of justice here. And look, she could have been doing a lot of different things, and she's made a ton of money doing those things. But now, even you think it's late, I don't care. I don't care. It's never too late. And she's only 37. And for her to turn around and to fight for Alice Marie Johnson, and not just her, but also Cyntoia Brown, who's got convicted in 2004 when she was the victim of a rape and sex trafficking.
She was being trafficked when she was a teenager.
Yeah, so Congress just passed the law pretending to care about sex trafficking, but in reality it was an attack on the internet. It was a backdoor attack on the internet. It had nothing to do with sex trafficking. Here's a person who was sex trafficked, fought back, and they're like, life sentence.
Yeah.
Okay, so great job by Kim Kardashian in actually trying this, and thank you for getting the moron's attention for a minute, right? Until he got distracted and he was like, squirrel, D'Souza, right? Let Alice Marie Johnson out, for God's sake, man. The powerful get away with so much. Let her go.
So I want you to get a sense of who Johnson is. And I interviewed her last year for an event that Google put together. And since she's been away for so long, she didn't have much communication or physical contact with her daughter. So in this video, she talks about what it was like to touch and hug her daughter for the first time after she had been in prison for a very long time. Let's watch. Kindia talked a little bit about what it was like to have physical contact with you for the first time. I'm curious to hear what that felt like for you.
It felt kind of awkward because you don't know what to say. Like, I wanted to be a mother, but I didn't want to act too overprotective because of my absence, due to my absence. It was kind of a bonding time where I looked at her and she looked at me, but at the same time, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know if I should touch her. I didn't know if she would reject me. So I watched how other people in a visitation interacted with their children so that I can learn that, okay, this is all right to hold a hand, this is all right to do this, or this is all right to do that. But it was more emotional for me when I came back because I was like, I wish I would have said this, I wish I would have said that.
We crush the average American in this country over and over and over again, while the powerful get away with anything they want.
So I do want to give Kim Kardashian a lot of credit for bringing attention to this issue, and people are talking about it. Now this has become part of the national dialogue, and I think it's incredibly important. But there are some who are poking fun at her, and I'm not talking about private citizens, I'm talking about publications like the New York Post, which published this disgusting cover, essentially making fun of her and her body. So let's take a look at it. So the other big ass summit, Kim Thong-un pitches, this is a serious issue. I get it. I get that Kim Kardashian has a history that she has. I get that these are common insults that she deals with. But when it comes to this very issue, which essentially has people's lives on the line, just have a little bit of decency, just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think, look, if you're talking about Kim Kardashian and her reality show world and all the different stupid things she does to get attention, and you want to make fun of her ass, I don't care. I don't care at all. You can call me anything you like, have at it, Hoss, okay? But when she's actually doing something great, can you just get off her ass for a second? Can you concentrate for a second?
On what she's actually doing.
Yes, right? Nope. And so they're too busy judging. And if it makes sense, and she's doing something bad, go ahead and judge her for it, okay? Because, God, there's a million things to judge Donald Trump on, and somebody's got to call him out. But the one time she's doing something fantastic, give her credit for it and stop talking about her body in that context. It's not right. If she's flaunting her body and says don't talk about it, that's hypocrisy. In this case, she's flaunting her morals, so you might want to talk about that. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below. Then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell.
And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.